Pope John Paul II address to bishops of Rwanda, September 17, 1998. Their blood will be a gospel seed. They will help you not to despair of man. Anti-Pope John Paul II Evangelium Vitae number 3. Therefore, every threat to human dignity and life must necessarily be felt in the Church's very heart. It cannot but affect her at the core of her faith and the redemptive incarnation of the Son of God. Here, the Antichrist says that every threat to human dignity cannot but affect faith in the incarnation. Why would that be? Well, if every man became God in the incarnation as the Antichrist preaches, then every threat to man affects faith in the incarnation. Anti-Pope John Paul II to the City and World Address, March 31, 1991. Let respect for man be total. Every offense against the person is an offense against God. Anti-Pope John Paul II, World Day of Prayer for Peace, Assisi, Italy, January 24, 2002. To offend against man is most certainly to offend against God. Anti-Pope John Paul II, Homily, June 24, 1988. God wishes to encounter in man the whole of creation. Here the Antichrist indicates that in man one can find the whole of creation. Anti-Pope John Paul II, Evangelium Vitae number 21. The eclipse of the sense of God and of man. Anti-Pope John Paul II, Evangelium Vitae number 23. The eclipse of the sense of God and of man. Anti-Pope John Paul II, Evangelium Vitae number 24. The eclipse of the sense of God and of man. In paragraphs 21 to 24 of Evangelium Vitae, Anti-Pope John Paul II makes 3 statements regarding the loss of the sense of God and man in society. Keep this in mind as we read the next quote. Anti-Pope John Paul II, Evangelium Vitae number 22. By living as if God did not exist, man not only loses sight of the mystery of God, but also the mystery of the world and the mystery of his own being. Here the Antichrist explains that by living as if God did not exist, man loses sight of the mystery of his own being. This equates man's being with God, and this is why in the very same section of this encyclical, he speaks 3 times of the eclipse of the sense of God and man. He is preaching to us that to eclipse God is to eclipse man, because they are the same. Anti-Pope John Paul II preaches that man is the Messiah.